Hello Guardians, this is Scan at GLHFtv, and today I'll be going over the trick of speed reloading, which I'm happy to say has carried over from Destiny 1 into Destiny 2. Speed reloading is a nifty little tool that works especially well with semi-automatic weapons, which generally suffer from slower reloads compared to their automatic counterparts. Performed by hitting reload just before you fire your last shot, you will actually begin the reload animation before firing off that last shot, effectively eliminating the first few frames of animation from your reload and getting you back into the fight that much faster. While this does work on automatic weapons, it doesn't seem as effective as you're more likely to start your reload with 1 or 2 rounds left in your magazine, which is minor, but if you're going for straight DPS versus something like a raid boss, you want to fire every round possible. To demonstrate speed reloading, I will be using the hand cannon Better Devils. Please note that I'm already using Flared Magwell as a perk. Also, none of my mod slots in my armor are using a kinetic weapon reload buff. My test was pretty straightforward. Fire all 10 rounds from the magazine, reload, and then move on to the next method of reloading. I used 3 methods of reloading. The slow reload is first and obviously the worst method. If you press nothing after firing the last shot from a magazine, there will always be a slight pause before you reload, so it's always a good idea to keep pulling the trigger even after you're done with a magazine, as that will start your reload animation. The second method is just that, what I consider the normal trigger pull method, what you'd expect 99% of the time. And last, of course, is the speed reload, which again is performed by hitting reload just before you fire the last round from your magazine. Right away, seeing the 3 side by side, it is clear as day that the speed reload is significantly faster than the other methods. You can actually see the reload animation begin before the final shot is fired, and then continue after the shot. To compare the speeds of all 3 reloads, I chose to start timing the reload as soon as the final shot of each magazine is fired. I then stopped the timing the moment the Guardian's left thumb tucked in right behind their right thumb, so at that point both hands are securely on the weapon. Also, I am not timing this using tenths or hundredths of a second. Instead, I am counting frames of animation per second. Since I'm playing this on console, Destiny 2 is a 30 frame per second game, so 1 frame equals 1/30th of a second. The speed reload finishes at 2 seconds 18 frames, or 78 total frames. At this point, the slowest reload hasn't even finished putting its magazine into the chamber of the hand cannon. A normal trigger pull reload finishes 12 frames later at 3 seconds flat, or 90 frames, an entire third of a second slower. Last, the slow reload, which comes in at 6 frames slower than that, making it 3/5 of a second slower than the speed reload at 96 frames. Okay, so that doesn't really seem like much, right? Let me put it this way then. The speed reload was a full 18.75% faster than the slow reload, and 13.3% faster than your typical trigger pull reload. In the case of the slow reload, that's almost the difference between having or not having a kinetic weapon reload buff in an armor mod slot. Which raises the question, what if you try to speed reload while also having a kinetic reload mod? I put a speed reload mod onto a pair of gloves and retested 2 of the methods, the trigger pull method and the speed reload. Same method as last time, I fired all 10 rounds and then reloaded, with my measurement time being the same as well, from the flash at the end of the barrel to the Guardian's left thumb gripping the weapon. It's clear that both weapons are reloading quickly, but just how quickly? The speed reload method is working wonders here, ending at 2 seconds 6 frames, or just 66 frames, 12 frames of animation faster than the previous speed reload. The normal trigger pull reload ends at 2 seconds 19 frames, or 79 frames, essentially identical to the original speed reload without the armor mod. What this means is that the method of speed reloading will become more and more effective the more reload mods you have for a specific weapon type. Before using the mod, remember that the speed reload was 12 frames quicker than the normal trigger pull reload, meaning a difference of 13.3% in your reload time. This time around, the speed reload was actually 13 frames faster, and that difference of 13 frames is out of only 79 frames for the trigger pull reload, not 90. Meaning that with a mod activated, speed reloading Better Devils results in an additional 16.5% reduction in reload time. From the slowest reload time we had to start with to our fastest now, we have a full second removed from the overall time to reload. The bottom line here is that if you are using any semi-automatic weapon, and considering the state of the Destiny 2 meta right now, chances of that are pretty high, a normal speed reload appears to be the equivalent of using a single reloader armor slot. If you are using a reloader mod already though, the effect becomes even more dramatic, removing nearly 30% of your overall reload time and freeing up potential armor mods for more stability or faster ability recharge times. This method is a little tricky on controllers right now since you have to take your thumb off the stick to perform it, but with PC controls, I imagine this is an incredibly effective way to optimize your damage per second in almost any situation. Thank you for watching. This has been Scan with GLHFtv.